Okay, what we're going to do in this tutorial is learn how to export the timesheet data from T-Sheets into QuickBooks, and then how to create an invoice for the vendors that we will pay them with. So let's start off by going into T-Sheets. So we're here in T-Sheets, and there's a couple steps once we get in here. The first is that we're going to go into the approvals report. So this approvals report will give us a date range for which the pay period is going to be. So what we'll do is we'll make it April 16th, and even though we're not to April 30th yet, we'll make it to April 30th here anyway. So, and then once we get that selected, we are going to run the report, and in that report, all of the hours should be in there. So you'll see the ones that have worked. Obviously, there'll be hours over here. The ones that haven't, there won't be any hours. So for right now, we're not going to process all of these. We're just going to do one example one, which I have set up in here as new caregiver. So typically what you would do is you'd go through and approve all of these hours. So we're just going to go in here and approve this one. First, what I like to do is just kind of check real quick and check on the hours and kind of see if everything makes sense. And approve. And that's fine for these purposes. And then we should have one approved in here, which is the new caregiver. So once that's approved, what we're going to do is we're going to export all approved times. So QuickBooks, export all approved times. And then it's going to ask you proceed, and we'll just hit export all hours. And says it did it successfully. So next we want to go into QuickBooks and verify that it did. So we won't see anything in here yet. Where we want to go to view the hours is up here in Employees. So you click on Employees, go into Enter Time, and Use Weekly Timesheet. Then once we're in there, we're going to type in new caregiver to verify that the hours were imported properly, and looks like they were. So that works out. You can see new customer, new caregiver, and we always want to check and make sure that it's billable. So we can save and close out. Now we're back in the vendors tab with the new caregiver. So what we're going to do now is create an invoice or a bill that we will pay the new caregiver off of. So when you go in here, it'll automatically come up as new caregiver. Then if you hit tab, it should ask you if you want to use this to represent time worked, and we do. So then what we're going to do is we're going to select the date, the time period from it, and this one was the 16th to the 30th, and it'll import those hours in there. So we have that in here, and now we just hit save and close. So the bill for this caregiver is entered in now, and then to pay that, we would just go into new transactions and pay bills, and then you see we can just check it there. Let's cancel that out. Okay, so once all that's in there, we can go into the customers, and this was a new customer. Oops. So where is that right here? Okay, so new customer. And you can see nothing's in here yet. So we need to go and create an invoice. So we go up to new transactions and invoices. And create that, and then you'll see customer job, new customer. We hit tab. That'll come up there. You can see the adjuster, insurance information, all that kind of stuff. And we're going to want to add time and costs. And you can see the time comes up right in here. So usually there'll be a bunch in here for all the different caregivers and all that kind of stuff. So right now there's only 2 for this simple invoice. So we select those, or select all as long as they're all within the same month, and click OK. Now you can see that it automatically populates all this information in here as hours, the rate, the date of service, and then the total amount, and then the total amount down here. Now the other thing you want to make sure is that down here in customer message that you put something in here. So you see all these have the same pretty much CPT codes and all that kind of stuff. So we do that, and let's see, there's none in here for a new customer. So let's go in here and just change this to new customer. Oh, I guess we've kind of maxed out the characters in here. You put adjuster in there and all that kind of stuff, claim number. And actually the claim number already is going to be in somewhere else, so we don't necessarily need to do that. But so you can enter in all this information, put the adjuster name in there and all that kind of stuff. And then this will be ready to view. So then what I like to do is I like to, yeah, let's add that quickly. So, okay, so I usually like to print it into a PDF document. So I go to print, and then I would just save it. We'll just do it under here. So invoice April 2016, new customer. And then click save. And then it should, once you do that, should pop up. After a few seconds. There we go. So I have all the adjuster information here, the claim number here, and then all the hours with all that kind of stuff there. And then all this data will be down here in this area. Total, balance due, all that kind of stuff. So then with that invoice, you would basically go and however the insurance adjuster wants to receive it, whether it's via email, you could then email it to them. You could, attach files to this to add more information, or you could fax it to them, using eFax. But that's basically how you do that. And then when you, whether you email it or fax it, you want to include the task sheets with that, and that is in Dropbox. So that's how you create the invoices. It's pretty simple to do, and that'll be it for this tutorial.